Thank you. Can you hear me all right? I want to congratulate you because you're probably the most numerous group of true seekers I've ever met. And I have, in my own way, been a seeker most of my adult life. And I've had the almost impossible task of trying to bring the Spirit into the world of healing. And I can tell you that's resisted, will be resisted, and for my lifetime and many more, it will be resisted. But I have come here sporadically over many years. I've lived in the beach, and it never dissatisfies me. It's just like today, the speaker I've only known since probably April, but it's one of those intuitive things when you meet someone, and I have had many excellent teachers throughout my life. I knew he was going to teach me something that was worthwhile. So then I came, and the inspirational readings today, I'll just reread them again because I got a kick out of it. It made me feel good. When you find yourself in a position to help someone, be happy and feel blessed because God is answering that person's prayer through you. So the thing is, I believe in prayer. I don't always have miracles happen, but I'm still here after many years. And I know angels have saved my life on multiple occasions, and I thank them for it. But this gentleman is a little different. He, like many of us, began his path that he follows today, and he walks his talk. About 30 years ago, when a tragic automobile accident dinged him a little bit in the head and took his daughter's life. And he wanted to find solace, as we all do during tragedies, and he went into Vedic astrology, and over the past 30 years has become one of the few Native Americans who is truly a master of this. And besides that, he was a meditator for 15 years before that, so he's been meditating about 45 years. And he teaches a form of meditation that he's taught me recently, and I'll tell you, I can do it, anyone can do it, because I'm not into counting breaths and all the traditional thing. You just sort of sit there for about 20 minutes twice a day and follow his instructions, and then you get up, and I'm already getting more energy. I have meditated in the past, but I'm like everybody else. You do it a few times, you forget it, and life goes on. But when I did meditate, and what I'm expecting this time, after your shower and you eat and you get dressed, your energy goes up, and it stays up until you go to bed. There's no lull. So you have more energy to help more people. And I guess what I'd like to do now through Bruce and Marty, or particularly Bruce, then the song Pass It On, it only takes a spark to get the fire going. And I want to introduce your spark, hopefully for many of you now and in the future, Philip Hosley. Okay?
Thank you, Robert. Is the sound okay? Good.
A little bit, because you're taller.
Thank you.
That good? Yeah, it picks up very well.
I must begin by thanking you. I'll try to explain this as simply as I can. You people are unusual. No, really. Not just because of this and all that, no. You're unusual because I'm here, and all I speak about is spirit. That's what I do. I relate spirit. This is what I do. I give experience of spirit. Spirit is important to me. I love God. This is my sidekick. I take it with me as a prop. This is what Ganesh. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. This is prayer. So I honor you. I honor you for coming to me. And thank you. I've been communicating with Bob, as he said, since about April. And for a while I called him Bob. And then I don't know why I started calling him Robert. And then started calling him Sir Robert. And as of today, he's reached Saint Robert. He's been an amazing man. He brought me into his home, and I'm not easy to live with for a week. Believe me when I tell you, that's the truth. I'll begin with an invocation, and the invocation goes like this. I always thank my higher power. I always thank all my progenitors, my mother and father, my precious children. I always intend that everything that goes into me and everything that comes out of me is the highest good. So that's something that I cannot fathom or even to tell you what it is, but it's my intention that everything that goes into me and everything that comes out of me is for the highest good. I say prayers of Om Shri Shri Shiva, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha, Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha, Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha, Om Pranamya Shirasadevam Gariputram Lakshmi Vinayakam Namaha, Om. And because this is Sunday, we'll say a prayer to the sun, Savitur Varanium, Om Sum Surya Ye Namah, Om Sum Surya Ye Namah, Om Sum Surya Ye Namah. As we begin, I would like everyone here to make an intention. The Word is powerful. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So it was just a simple intention. My intention is to be as transparent as I can be, to pass on what I love to you, and hopefully you'll receive the love I'm sending. Each of you has your own thinking, your own idea. Just have one simple intention. Make it clear. I would like this. I think this. I want my life to be this. Just a simple intention, and hope that my attendance with you here today can further that along. Okay, just take a couple seconds to do that. Thank you. A couple ideas. I figured if I didn't write them down, I wouldn't remember, because I bounce off the walls in a very short time, you'll see. I profess to be a knowledgeable person in the area of Ayurveda. By definition, Ayurveda is Indian grassroots medicine. It's the umbrella under which all of Indian life falls. And if you know anything about the Hindus, the food they eat, where they live, the way they sleep, the way they operate in daily life, everything that they do is to become connected with their higher power. It's all of Hindu thought, all of Vedic thought is that. Modern Hindus, if you see them on television and they're dancing in the clubs, that's not it. We're talking about 50 years ago, the people in the backcountry, excuse me, the food they eat, they make things called dals. If you've eaten Indian food, dals are made seasonally. There's a summer dal, there's a spring dal, there's a winter dal, because dals have the correct spices for your body to handle the cooling they need in the summer and the one they need in the winter, for example. And under Ayurveda, there are at least four branches, and there are Upanishads and a bunch of others. The oldest of the Vedas is called the Rig Veda. It's spelled RG sometimes because I guess the I is understood and there's some sort of mark on it. The Rig Veda is the oldest of the Vedas. And in the Rig Veda, what I do is called Jyotish. Jyoti means light. And according to the Rig Veda, the Jyotish is the light of the Veda. And it's considered very, 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 very high attainment. A person who studies Vedic astrology as I do, they can attain a transcendent experience which becomes permanent, and it's called Jyotish Madi Pragya. Jyotish Madi Pragya. It's a state of mind that an astrologer gets over time so that what he tells people will be necessary, good, and for their highest good, multiple put. Additionally, in the Rig Veda, there's a very early, There's a statement called Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi means I am Brahman. Brahman is the creator. Lord Vishnu resides in one quarter of the spiritual sky. Out of his navel grows a lotus. On the lotus it's Lord Brahma, the creator. Lord Brahma, the creator, stands on one foot for 10,000 years of the demigods, which I'm assuming is a very long time. And while he's doing that, he's increasing his intelligence to the level that he can create everything on earth. Humans, look around the beauty of the human being and all the animals. So that's his job. Lord Brahma is the creator. When he towards the end of creation, he got a little bit overwhelmed, and he farmed out a few of the things. For example, the giraffe next too long, avocado, the pit's too big, and the platypus. So he had a few people take up the slack, and so that's what happened. Excuse me. Aham Brahmasmi means I am the creator. Now here's a good one for you. Every night before I go to bed, I program myself. I don't lay there and go, oh, I should have done that. I don't lay there and regret the day, which we all do. I go, I am love, I am light, I am well. I say it 3 times. The reason you say things 3 times is because if you say something 3 times, it will be Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I am love, I am light, I am well. I say it 3 times. And then I say, Aham Brahmasmi, I am the creator. I say it 3 times. And then I say, because I am the creator, I create a life with perfect health, sustainable wealth, happiness, longevity, and enlightenment. This is my prayer. And then I go to sleep. And while you're sleeping, your brain will use those ideas, and it will produce, believe me, over time, it will produce that which you have said. How about that? Pretty cool, right? Under Ayurveda, and specifically with Vedic astrology, there are always, the 4 great aims of life always come up. Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Dharma is right activity. This is a dharmic activity here. Connecting with your higher power, the 9th house, destiny, duty, how we live, importance in religion in a quasi sense. Artha is directed activity for pecuniary gain. Artha. We all have to work, and if we work, we hopefully get something in return. Artha. Kama is desire. Desire is the third main aim of life, and desire is good. The 4th great aim of life is moksha. Moksha means liberation and release. Basically, ego, E-G-O, represents edging God out. But I'm a big fan of the ego because you need everything you've got to get through this. You need it all. I don't want to get rid of my ego. I don't want to destroy this. No. You need an ego because the ego will help you get to your higher self. It's its job. If you, differentiate it to some degree and, don't become a megalomaniac, which some people do. Excuse me. I'm going to skip to Jesus and the Bible. Everybody heard of Jesus? Lord Jesus Christ. Yeshua, Lord Jesus Christ. I love Jesus. Jesus, he's amazing. He's powerful. Like so many people, I had to come to grips with him because I grew up in a staunch Catholic family, and I'm a recovering Catholic, Bob is, and a few others. Being a recovering Catholic is a real thing. When I was about 13, I went to catechism, and I found out that only Catholics were going to heaven. And I said, man, good deal. Good deal. But on the way home, I said, wait a second, my friend Ed there, and what about that little black kid? And what about the person with cerebral palsy? And then I realized, over time, that it was a crock. And it was just basically a mistake, a political statement to keep political power in the hands of a few. We're all going to heaven. We're all going to heaven. Everything you endeavor to do in this life, you work hard, you study, you raise children, it makes you bigger. You're bigger. When you go to heaven, you will be full. Everyone here will be full. Now, do you want to be a Dixie cup? Or do you want to be a 55-gallon drum? You're going to be full. So therefore, every single thing you do, even though, I'm sorry I did that, no. Don't let that all go. Everything you've done has brought you to this point in your life. And God bless you, you're on your way. Dixie cup. We all want to be a 55-gallon drum. Because when you go to heaven, you're as full as you can be. So let's be full. Let's be as full as we are. I'm a retired judge. I was a judge for several years, and whenever we have 5 minutes to spare, which is all the time, and there was to be an attorney sitting there, I was telling the story about when the attorney went to heaven with the Pope. The Pope and the attorney went to heaven at the same time. And they went there and they were greeted by Gabriel, and he takes them around, and he's showing them wonderful places, and everything as they go down the path, the place gets better and better. So they install the Pope, this fabulous estate. It's immense. It's fabulous. Everything's going on in a great way. And they go down a little bit farther. Excuse me. And there's a place twice or 4 times as big. It's amazing. It's gold. It's gilded. And the lawyer goes, "What? This is for me?" And he Gabriel says, "We have lots of popes." And then, just like you, the attorney stands there for a minute, trying to think if I'm slapping him in the head or being funny. That's funny. That's good. And I do like to include in my speaking, I always like to quote from certain very important people. For example, yogis. I like yogis a lot. And there's a very famous yogi, Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra is amazing. He was a baseball genius. Most people don't know that. And that's because he looked like one of the Three Stooges. He would come running out of the dugout. He's a little short guy's hair sticking out, and screaming at the man out there in the suit, and Yogi Berra. And he's known to have said, 50% of hitting is pitching. There's a restaurant over there. Their restaurant. That's so busy, nobody goes there anymore. If you come to a fork in the road, take it. And my favorite was, if you look around, you see a lot. It's great stuff. This stuff you can't make this stuff up. It's amazing. I can't talk about Jesus in the Bible without talking about Satan. Anybody heard of Satan? What's the story with Satan? God is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. Satan is a fallen angel. I believe in Satan very much, and he does things that aren't good. Nice, they're not nice. How is it possible that he gets away with it? Anybody know? God wants him to do what he does. Do you know why? God teaches us through the pairs of opposites, sweet and sour, life and death, black and white, evil and good. Satan serves a useful function. Without death, life would be worth nothing. What good would life live 1,000 years if you just humdy-dum, 300 years, la-di-da, 400. Death is a friend to life. Death is a friend to life. It makes life worthwhile. That's how God teaches us in great, big, huge. Learn. See the bad. Accept the good. Let's go out. Let's choose good. Jesus taught the great I am. And a lot of fundamentalist places, they talk about it about twice a year. I am. I am that I am. I guess around Easter. I am that I am. I am that I am is a command to pray and meditate. Get it? It's actually, technically, it's called what's called a mantra. And I give mantras in my meditation that I teach. It's a command to meditate. Meditation is the subtlest form of prayer. When I'm speaking out, this is the grossest level of creation. And then I whisper, it gets a little better. And then when I say it inside, I am that I am, do it for a second. Close your eyes and say, I am that I am. Just for a minute. I am that I am. That is a powerful mantra. In meditation, you can do it very long, but if you did it for 5 minutes, you would get enormous rest because your mind and brain, it wants to go where this I am will send it. It wants to go to a very deep place of rest and goodness. It's called the base state, zero state. And we'll go there whenever you get a chance. If the mind is lively and undirected, and we say, I am that I am. Pretty cool, huh? I love Jesus. The things he said, I have what's called a red letter Bible. Anyone know what that is? Red letter Bible? The things that Jesus said they're maybe like 10, 20, 30 sentences, not a whole lot. But one thing he did say is, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. It's another command to meditate. How can we miss it? Be still and know that I am God. Pretty cool. He said a lot of things, really, really great stuff. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. I'm a believer that Jesus, from the age of 16 to the age of 30, roughly, was not in his home. I think he went to India, and when he was there, he studied with all the mystics. He studied with all the masters in India. And by the way, Jesus was a revolutionary. By the time he left India, they wanted to hang him up there too, because he lectured against the caste system. He didn't believe these were untouchables, and those were people again. He just thought it was wrong. That's his way of thinking. And I've studied Jesus' life a lot, and amazingly, some people have cognized Jesus Christ's Vedic astrology chart, so I have that, and I teach a course on it too. It's part of the course I teach. And when he left, he knew right from wrong. Yeah. When he came back, he could raise the dead. Yeah. Walk on water. I teach those qualities. I'm able to teach those. They're called sutras or stitches, and you can read up about them in a book called the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. These things are available to all of us because Jesus was the Son of God, and so are you. Jesus was actually, when he was saying, you in the back, the guy laying on the stretcher in the back who was palsied and near death, he said, everything that I do and more you can do. And he meant him. He meant everyone. He wasn't being humble. He was telling the honest truth. What Jesus did, we are capable of doing. And by the way, I hope you all come to me and learn. Bless you. It's on you if you don't. The meditation I do makes people go to a subtle state. At the subtle state, stress is released, and the neurophysiology becomes purified, a little at a time, a little bit at a time. And over time, a year, a month, a year, week, 10 years, the body becomes purified. And when it is, you become a perfect instrument for, let me be an instrument of thy grace. We basically are all mirrors. We're mirrors with a lot of dirt on the mirror. If you clear away the mirror, you see God's face. That's right. God consciousness is right there. We just got to get rid of our impediments, stress, negativity, all the crap that we carry, all our toxic emotions, all the things that we carry. Okay, shifting gears, I'm going to go to what's called the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita. It simply means the Song of God. And believe it or not, it's the most commented upon book ever written. More than the Bible, more than all the other books probably put together. Because every holy man that ever lived over thousands and thousands of years in India has commented upon it in some way. Bhagavad Gita simply means the Song of God. And the specific Gita I studied, which is the first 6 chapters, translated by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, I recommend it strongly. Maharishi is a man in God consciousness. He's in the radiant self now. He's not with us. And he was in God consciousness at the time he translated this work. This work is a connection, or is a conversation between Krishna, the 7th incarnation of Lord Vishnu, God on earth, and Arjuna, the most evolved man. Pretty cool. So the combination between God, Arjuna, the most evolved man on the planet. It's recorded by Veda Vyasa. Veda Vyasa is clairaudient, clairvoyant, and omnipresent. He knew everything. So he took what he heard and learned, which is everything, and took it to Lord Ganesh, who was a scribe. And Lord Ganesh said, there's only one reason we will do this, and if we start, we have to do it all. And the Bhagavad Gita, 6 chapters, is a speck. The true Bhagavad Gita has 24,000 verses. 24,000. And in prehistory, these are all passed on father to son, mother to daughter, in spoken form. They used to sing them. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. They were just saying them, and that's how they learned it. They had auditory memory. About 5,000 years ago, they were written down on the walls of caves and then transferred to palm leaves and written so other people could understand them. The conversation takes place during the evening before a big battle in which 1 million people will die. It's pretty heavy stuff. And in the conversation, Lord Krishna talks with Arjuna, and Arjuna says stuff like, well, what now, man? It's like Batman and Robin. It's that, what up, Batman? And what up, Lone Ranger? He's a perfect foil for Krishna to tell us everything. Because Arjuna, the most evolved man, he's an archer who could kill 10,000 people. That's how good an archer he was. But he has an ethical dilemma in that on both sides, his side and the other side, his progenitors are there, his uncles, his nephews, his cousins. He's related to people on both sides. So he says, how can I kill? How can I fight and kill people who are mine, I should revere them. Well, how can I kill them? And the rest of the conversation is about Lord Krishna explaining to him dharma, duty, karma, action, all those important things. That's my number one recommended book. The Bhagavad Gita, translated by Maharishi. I talked about the 4 great aims of life, and I happened to mention that desire is good. Remember the movie Wall Street with Gordon Gekko was in? He said, for lack of a better word, greed is good. That's supposed to be funny. But desire is good. It's the lack of fulfillment of desire which is the problem. Desire is good. That's why we live. That's why we're here. So, go for it. Desire. What's your heart's desire? Let's fulfill that. Now, the problem comes when people don't get what they want. Yeah. That's where crime and pestilence and everything and disease is all. People know what cancer is. Cancer is unfulfilled desire. I want this, I want this. Oh, no, I can't have it. And oh, no, I can't. I can't have it. I can't have it. And something says, well, hey, I'm going to develop an incurable form of cancer and I'm going to die. I'm out of here. It's a choice. It's a choice. We had desire. Desire is good. There's a lot of preconceived notions about the Hindu Vedic lifestyle, and one of them is that you have to sit in lotus position and you have to breathe. I can't do that. I can't do any of those things. There are 2 lifestyles. There are 2 lifestyles at least, which are preached in the Vedas, and one of them is called brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is a man who owns nothing. If he's lucky, he has a begging bowl. That's all he owns, and the clothes on his back, which sometimes they have no clothes. Brahmacharya. It's a good way to go. It's interesting. The other side is householder. That's me. I'm a householder. I have a wife, I have kids, I have a mortgage, I have a car payment, and I live and love and lose and do all the things that normal people do, but I sit down and do deep meditation every day. That's my particular spiritual practice. Of the 2, the householder is superior. The householder is superior because it's just so simple. I sit down in the morning, I do my 20 minutes of meditation. And once I've done my 20 minutes, I have to get up and go about my life. I'm infusing just a tiny bit of creativity, intelligence, higher mind every time I meditate. And how do you infuse it? Go about my business. Once I get my meditation in, I eat breakfast, I go to work, I do this, I come home at 4 o'clock, I do my second meditation, infuse a little more, and we talk and chat. I eat dinner, watch crappy TV shows, and I go to bed. The householder is superior because of the washing the cloth and drying the cloth. We just wash it, soak it, dry it, wash it, in and out. The brahmacharya, he's in. He's in. That's his whole thing. He's in all the time. He has to sit in lotus position. He has to starve himself. He has to do all kinds of upaya and begging, and God bless those people. But I'm not there. I'm the other side. I'm a householder, which I'm enjoying because I can't do any of that other stuff, at least not now. Though I would like to go to an ashram, which I want to build myself. So that's on the horizon. Someday I'll build an ashram. This is a 3-dimensional world in which we live. And all the characteristics, you know it. It's here because we like it. We're children of God. This is a creation of God. And because we're children of God, and this world is a creation of God, it exists just because we like it. If we didn't like it, it would just go. It would just go blink right out of existence. It's our cumulative awareness, interest, and desire that produces this world. How cool is that? So hey, have fun. Go and the place to playground Earth. Go and do it. Don't be stilted. Don't. I wish I'd have done. No, I should have. I should have married him. Nah, that one. I shouldn't have done that. Don't go should have. Could have. Let it all go. Forgive yourself. Maharishi, one of my teachers, says every day you're more evolved than you were the day before. Forgive what happened yesterday. I'm more about. Oh no, 5 minutes. I'll forgive. Forgive. Bad thoughts now. Let go. It becomes a way of living. Forgive and forget. You know about forgiveness. I know you do. We're just going to forgive. Who are you going to forgive? Me. I'm going to forgive me first. There's lots of documentation and lots of study about the meditation effect. It's called the meditation effect. If I'm meditating next to you, you get a better score on your test. Because, really, it's true. There's actually a coherence which my brain is producing, which is telegraphic. Apparently, it works really good closer, not quite as far away. There have been research in places like Washington, D.C. They've had so much crime over 40 years in Washington, D.C. that in the 30 sectors, they know in this sector there'll be a robbery, and in that sector there'll be this. They know. They already know. They've got people sitting there with statistics with computers. Get a bunch of people to do what I do, and they've done this, and we'll go into sector number 3. We'll spend 3 days there. And the crime that was predicted to happen won't happen. It happens so 80 or 90% of the time. It's such a high correlation. It was published in JAPA, the Journal of Psychology. So this happened for weeks at a time. So eventually, everybody knows cops say, no, they're number 1. They're over in section 1 because rape, murder, whatever's supposed to happen there didn't happen. Because the coherence which we create, and it's even better than that. This big ugly man sitting in his chair, it's a nice chair like that one. He's watching TV and he's drinking beer. And he knows about 9 o'clock when that deli closes down there, he's going to go down and he's going to get what he needs. And this is desire. And unfulfilled desires was forcing him to go to these extremes. He's got to go down there. In the next room, there are meditators like me. He drinks his beer, falls asleep, and wakes up in the morning. The reason is the meditation I do functions below the conscious thinking level. We cut the legs right off of his negative thoughts. They couldn't come because there's no the negativity. The reason that they would come is eliminated below the conscious thinking level. That's how this operates. Below the conscious thinking level. And if enough people did it, I wish we all did it plus 10,000, war would be impossible. Peace on earth. That's what you're telling. If enough people are operating below the conscious thinking level, our leaders, they're very bright people. They're all Harvard graduates. They're very, very smart. They're all off the charts. Every single judgment call, every single decision they make is based on too little information. And what happens when they have too little information? Unintended consequences. Unintended consequences. They happen so often that they're hitting betting averages like 30%. It's not very good. Rolling dice might be better. Interesting. Just a little more about the meditation I teach. I've just recently started to call it the quiet science. Quiet science, because if you see people who do this, that's what they're doing. Not very much, just sitting there. And also call it the gentle science, because it's gentle, quiet, and it's very easy to do. Surprisingly easy to do. And so when I teach, it takes an hour. And then I make sure I follow up with each person because on the first day they're doing because they're doing what? They're doing things that I didn't ask them to do because the thing is so simple. It's so simple and easy that they add things. So the third day, and I catch them over and over, adding things and being creative when it's not necessary. You just have to do the simple process, which I tell you, do the simple process, and really good things will happen. Bob mentioned this, but I'll mention it again. Let's see, July 11th, 1989. I was driving down to the center of Oneonta, New York, where I live, at about 5:26 p.m. I know the time. And a drunk driver ran the red light and killed my daughter in the car with me. And I had all kinds of weird stuff. I saw jagged lines for three months. Bob knows all about that. In any case, she was killed, and it waited until about Friday to unplug her. And thank God my ex-wife now had the wherewithal to donate her organs. At the time, it was like, oh my God, what were we doing? Because I was PTSD, and we were all in huge shock, you know. But she was 11 and a half years old, and she was perfect, brilliant. And to do research in Vedic astrology, which at first broke my heart and then woke me up a little. It says in one of the scriptures that a person with this particular planetary arrangement, which she had, will die before the age of 12 if they're in the lap of God. Even if they're in the lap of God, they will die before the age of 12. I went, oh my God, how could someone know that? And the answer is they knew, because they had seen it over and over. Observation had perspective over time. In that case, It hurt, kicked my ass pretty good. I'd been meditating, I never was a bad person, never. But what it did to me, it shocked me. People that know me say that I wasn't, before and after, I was not the same person, and I'm inside me, so I'm not, I don't know. I do felt that I got more serious and changed quite a bit. But let me tell you something. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. Excuse me. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. I am the person I am today because of her. And it was an agreement we had, which I learned about this later. Her agreement was to come in, have a bond with me, and then die in my presence so that I would learn. What was I supposed to learn? That the reason we're on this planet is to find God. We're here for that reason and no other. All the others, it's interesting, it's funny, it's good. If we don't find God, well, we're on this planet. Guess what? You're going to love this. You get to come back. It's okay. It's only time. Time's immaterial. Some people say time doesn't exist. So hey, find God or come back. So, in closing, I'd like to quote from Neil Donald Walsh, "Conversations with God." That's a great guy. Little simpery, a little feminine, but I love him because his sentiment is amazing. He has said, "There's only one being. There's only one being." In other words, if I hit you, I'm hitting me. If I cheat you, I'm cheating me. Number two, this is a big one. There is enough. There is enough to go around. I don't have to be rich so you can be poor. No. Everyone can be maintained at the highest possible standard of living. Clean air, clean water, and just fulfillment of desire. That's available. And the most important one, there's nothing that you must do in this world. Nothing that you must do in this world. You must be. You must be. And that's what I teach. I teach people how to be. Thank you. One more point about anybody see my sneakers? I bought these as a lark. It's kind of funny. But in Vedic astrology, the 12th house rules the feet. So I am energizing my 12th house, and the 12th house is what? God, Spirit, Transcendent, past lives, future lives, and disparate knowledge, which will get me